What is good, guys? Charles from Team COG. Come at you guys here with a post-commentary testing dual video doing the new overlay, the new top-down look. I did a community poll asking what you guys wanted to see, if you guys wanted to see the point of view, if you guys wanted to see like a top-down, and you guys voted, and you guys said you want top-down, so I ended up going out and building this own rig here. And yeah, it actually turned out pretty good. I got the nice overlay here. The only complaint, sadly, and I think there's just no way to beat it just because of the way like the rig works, is like even it just sits on the table, so any slight touch of the table just kind of causes a little vibration, which you guys can kind of see in here, which I think is no different than like if I did point of view, you guys would see like my head moving, bobbing, and stuff like that. So I think this is slightly better for those out there who complained like about the motion sickness. And yeah, it kind of turned out pretty good. So we have a White Forest versus Mitsurugi, pure Mitsurugi here. White Forest, both these decks are insane actually. Mitsurugi, arguably one of the more insane strategies. Like this deck is really hard to interact with. But we have the White Forest, which is also like a very good deck as well. I think it's a valid sleeper, and I think I'm gonna get my buddy Caleb here onto the podcast to talk about like why this deck is being slept on and like all the crazy stuff it has going for it. But anyway, yeah, we see the start of Deception, getting rid of the Fuaros. You hate to see it in your opening hand when you're going first. We also see like a Drone Imperm floating in his hand. And I think the card he has in his hand right now is Hallowed. He's just debating if he wants to activate it. But this is also, we're testing, so we're also having like conversation and stuff like that, talking and everything. So do keep that in mind. I see LZ also existing in the hand. So we're going to see Hallowed going ahead and attempt to defuse here. He's going to reveal, I think it's the Rasalaga. I think that's the one that he ends up revealing. Reveals Rasalaga, and then effect Rasalaga to search for a Sinful Spoil card on summon. Which is going to, or a Wanted or Sinful Spoils, which is going to be the Wanted, which is kind of crazy here. So we're going to see the fire off of the Wanted. Oh, we're going to see LZ. Oh, no, okay, yeah. Just a slight misplay. He doesn't want to use Wanted, so he just used LZ there, pitching the Imperm to go ahead and summon and search. Search the Sylvie, normal summon Sylvie, add Tails. Seems like a typical White Forest technique here. To synchro into the Synchro 6, which is, I forget this one's name. I remember Sylvia, right? Like, I remember Sylvie, the one that Book of Moons, but I always forget this one's name. But she's going to be able to discard a card to add a White Forest or a Light Spellcaster, I believe. Let's see here. I'm going to figure out which one, use my resource real quick, just so I get the names right, because this is the one that I always forget this one's name, man. I know the big one, level 8, is Diabelle, but this one I always forget. Rassalia, there we go. Rassalia, the Sinister Soul. And then we're going to see the setting of the Tails, and then the activation of Tails to search out the LZ of the Sinless or Sinful Spoils, I believe. This card is always like treated like an Azamine and Sinful Spoils. It allows himself to special summon itself to make Diabelle. The Synchro 8 on summon, it can add back a spell or trap, which he's going to add back the Imperm. This card's like kind of wild when you think about it. It allows a quick effect to send a spell from field or hand, I believe, to summon from the extra deck, or I think it's just extra deck, a tuner. Light tuner, so like he can summon out Sylvia, he can summon out the Rassalia. We're going to see him. I'm confused, so I'm just kind of confused. Add back Imperm. I don't know if he's just showing that card, if he's searching for the trap card there. I must have missed that when I was getting ready, when I was talking about this. But we know he gets the trap card. Now, trap card, I believe, is a Book of Moon. Also, because I think he gets to search it. Oh yeah, he gets to search it because of the Sinfoil LZ going to graveyard. If it goes to graveyard as Synchro Material, you can add a Sinful Spoil card, or as Amina, one of the two, right? So he ends up adding that card, and then he attempts to... Well, that's interesting. I don't know why... But we see Magnamut get activated, targeting that card to go ahead and banish it, to go ahead and, yeah. So he ends up activating the Sinful Spoil card to attempt to search out Diabelle. I think the Wanted can search any Diabelle card, right? Can search any Diabelle. And then he can search out Diabelle Vengeance, which is kind of crazy because Diabelle Vengeance counts as a Sinful Spoil card as well. Wanted still being played. It's kind of cool to see Wanted being played, right? I know all of us, like, Infernoble players and Snake Eyes players would love to have OSS instead of, like, this type of stuff. But it is nice to see Wanted and all that, you know, still be able to be played here. I want to check Wanted here. Yeah, it says add one Diabelle Star monster, so that's pretty crazy. I think Diabelle Star or Diabelle Vengeance is a Diabelle Star monster. But anyway, it's going to touch on this card's actually, the Diabelle Vengeance is pretty insane as well. It being the ability to be a quick effect pop, but at the cost of half your life points, right? Which isn't like, it's a lot to pay. Yep, a Diabell Star is also a Diabell Star Vengeance is cool. So we're going to get to see the summon of Saint Azamina and Sylvia. So what we're looking at is a quick effect pop that can summon out, but essentially the Synchro. Both the Diabell monsters can pretty much summon out a Synchro from the extra deck. So we have like a Book of Moon plus the ability for one to summon Poplar. Poplar allows it to quick Synchro into the Snake Eyes Diabell Star Dragon, or Dragon of Vengeance. And then we have Sylva being an Omni Negate. The Saint Azamita says your opponent cannot target cards, and they're great. Cannot target cards, and then they can't target Saint Azamita too. So it has like a little kind of lock on the Mitsurugi player here. But in phase, we're going to see Magnamut resolve and search out the Druid Worm. So this is kind of an insane board. Along with, we know he has a Book of Moon trap and a set Imperm. So like this is kind of a lot. Given the Diabell of the White Forest, she's going to have to sack off a spell or trap from hand or field to be able to resolve her effect. But that's like, that's nothing here nor there. So let's see, get the Mitsurugi player here, thinking about his turn, contemplating life decisions, wondering, man, should I have played Mitsurugi today? We're going to see preparation of pre-prep of rights, which is pretty crazy, pretty much a +1. And this deck can play it because they got that new ritual card that lists all the rituals, and this ritual here as well. This is the ritual that lists it, so you can search this ritual and any of one of the 3 ritual monsters, which is pretty wild, actually. So we're going to see him search the Mitsurugi Mirror. We're going to see him search the Mitsurugi Matama no Mitsurugi, but on resolution, a fat Droll comes in. Droll, what do you guys think? We were kind of talking about when we were testing this. Droll's a necessary evil, but like Droll's like one of those cards that just end turns, right? Kind of like Shifter did. It's just one of those, it's like a weird card that's existed for a long time. And I, for one, and I'm pretty much all 3 of us here, like we kind of agree. We're like, Droll is a necessary evil. It does not need to be addressed, but it kind of falling under the same pretenses of what some other cards, right? It's starting to become just a blowout hand trap that doesn't allow like any like diversity, right? Like every deck's going to play this hand trap Droll. But that was game 1. The Mitsurugi could not play through that board. I threw a Droll on top of everything, so we're going to get to see the Mitsurugi player attempt to go first. Looking at his hand, it looks pretty terrible. And you can see there the confirmation. The Mitsurugi player is going to say pass. So essentially, my buddy Caleb, who's on White Force, he's like, I go as in you go, you pass, I go. And he's like, yeah. And he's okay, so draw phase, we're going to see Wanted activate, searching out Diabell Star. And, yeah, so essentially, if White Force can put up 8k damage, they can do it. But we're going to see the Witch, pitch, and summon. Witch effect to set. And I think that trap is the Book of Moon. I think that's the Book of Moon trap that they play to be able to play through Droll when they know they're going first here. Take note, this was just pretty much just like light testing that we didn't really sight out or anything like that. So this is more so they were doing this for me to check the camera angle and everything. So that's why that card would probably be sighted out. So just keep that in mind. We're going to see set Deception, activate Deception, sending the full Walrus. Again, kind of sad luck for the White Forest player, right? Like he saw Walrus both games and he gets to go first. But we're going to see on resolution of Hallowed is a Droll. So we get to see the counterplay of Droll and get to see, you can even see Droll floating in the hand of the White Forest player too. So it's going to be a Droll battle, Droll this, Droll that. I like Droll to an extent. I can tell you that Droll, it just feels bad when you play a really consistent deck that searches and searches and searches, right? But then Droll exists because you have such a consistent deck that hyper consistent that fall victim to Droll, but then you have decks that aren't like super consistent that can play under Droll. But Droll's like one of them hand traps that are like, depending on the hand, every deck can play through it depending, so. Bursley Imperm fly out and attempt to bait the Sylvie. We know at the end phase he set Deception, and I know we kind of saw later on the trap. Remember, we're testing here, so the trap would have set itself off of the Diabell Star, I'm pretty sure. And that was him just correcting that. We're going to see the preparation fire off here. So again, we're going to possibly see a Droll get launched here. We see Mitsurugi Mirror, and of course the Habakiri here get added to hand. On resolution Droll, but we have a fat cross out to check it. Man, I would like to note, now that editing this, that this Mitsurugi player, my buddy Jason, if you guys have not seen him, he's on our podcast. He opened so well against one of the other duels that we had. He opened like triple tactics talent, cross out, and then the one of, crawled by, being chained here onto the Mitsurugi Mikoto. I think that's how you pronounce it, Makoto. Dang, that's pretty good. But we're going to see Magnamut be chained to go ahead and banish it so he gets to resolve the effect, to go ahead and add on himself the Saji. Oh man, that's a pretty good hand for the Mitsurugi player. But this deck is very difficult to work with. But anyways, I was saying, Mitsurugi player, right, was opening broken almost, like seeing like the Saki one-ofs, and like, ugh. We're gonna see normal summon of Saji, and we're gonna see, oh my god, the attempt to in-perm the Saji, and then they're gonna play the Mitsurugi Magnetama, which is essentially just a quick effect pop, allowing him to dodge the in-perm. The Mitsurugi player Jason is just built different. He's the main character of this duel. That's just insane, the amount of, like, I don't even know, is that like a skill to see? I don't even know it's a one-of. Like, I guess if you play enough good one-ofs, right? Like, you're bound to see them all. If all your one-ofs are good, you can't really say they're bricks. Mitsurugi Ritual is going to fire off here. He's going to be able to Ritual from the deck, summoning out the Mitsurugi no Mitsurugi, or Murakamo no Mitsurugi, excuse me, which is going to attempt to blow the board. Blows the Witch. The Witch effect allows itself to trigger to summon itself back. And this is kind of where, so he attempts to go the effect of the Witch to summon itself back. It allows him to like send a card from the field to summon itself, and then he can set another Sinful Spoil card, which might potentially keep him in the game. But I think, you know, the Mitsurugi, White Forest has no cards in hand, so this is just a free negate. Witch comes back, Witch effect to set. Mitsurugi no gosh, I can't even. Amino Murakumo no Mitsukuri activates his effect, and he has no card negate. So that pretty much wraps it up here for game number 2, going on here into game number 3. We get to see White Force go first, and we look trying to get a glimpse of the hand. Do I see another draw? No, but I see a Stellar, maybe? Oh, no, there is a draw, man. That's why. I swear there's a draw in there. Crazy, man. Crazy. But we see the normal summon of a Stellar pitching another Azamina Trap I'm not familiar with. Imperm checks as Stellar. We see the White Woods or White Forest get activated here. This is the field spell that locks you out of dark monsters. We get to see the Search of LZ, Witch of the White Forest. And then LZ effect, we get to see LZ sending the Witch of the White Forest to summon itself, and then he'll get to have a search. But we're going to see Impulse fired. Impulse is devastating here because of Imperm being used prior. It's going to destroy the LZ. And yeah, that's pretty good. I know, hindsight, we were talking that maybe the play was to normal that, search Sylvie, and attempt to special summon those because it's inherent, right? So we just see a pass, hoping maybe Droll can hold the line here. Droll and Ash hold the line against this Mitsurugi. We see normal summon of the Moto, I believe, to go ahead and add the Habakiri. We're going to see Droll and Lockbird chain to Habakiri here. I believe it resolves. Maybe this draw will be enough to keep the snakes at bay. I think the Mitsurugi is based off of divine swords of the gods in Chinese mythology, so will this be enough to stay the blades of the snake deities? I mean, still have an Ash. And you can see he's talking. We're talking like maybe that was the correct play to go to play around Impulse, but he wanted to kind of see the play with normal summon a Stellar, because a Stellar, I don't know if a Stellar's like, you know, being played in every list, because it does recur itself, which is really nice, and it is like a 1-card starter, but it does lose to like every hand trap in existence. But we're going to see a battle phase attack with the Mikoto. Probably butchering the name, I'm sorry. And we're going to see a ritual summon, because the ritual... Uh-oh. Yeah, so we see a scoop here, but it doesn't matter, really. He ritual summons out the big guy, and yeah, we wrap it up here. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoy this type of content, you know what to do. Hit that like button, all that fine stuff. But most importantly, you guys stay safe, stay healthy. Charles from Team COG, signing out.